Alright, so this video is long overdue because I made the last one becoming a pro beach volleyball player, I think 3 years ago. And that was before I had even played in any AVP tournaments, I think. And at that time, I was just learning how the point system works, tournaments, and just like really trying to break out of ground zero. And I don't think I had any training groups or I was really just starting. And I remember just thinking like how difficult it was. And I was looking at like how many points we get from each tournament, and it's really not that many at the smaller tournaments. Like for a CBVA Open win, I was only getting like 550 points for winning a CBVA Open. So I was just like thinking, oh dang, this is gonna be really hard if I want to break into the AVP. But my coach, Michael Clark, has been just such a blessing from the Lord. This guy is a godly man, loves the Lord, and is so focused on what the mission is, which is the kingdom of heaven. And he's constantly reminding me, and he told me, if you're going to be a pro beach volleyball player, if God created you to be a pro beach volleyball player, you do it. Even if it means you're making no money, or if it means you lose every tournament. If God tells you to do something, you do it. So I think that first year, I traveled to as many tournaments as I could. I'm still in school, so like I missed the first few tournaments of the year, but I went to, I think, every tour stop I could except for one. And my first one was in Denver, so that was 2022. First one was in Denver, went to the qualifier, played with Jordan Hoppy, and first game, decently easy. Second game went to 3, super close. And the third one also went to 3. But it was just by the grace of God that we got in. And then our first match was against Cody Caldwell and Adam Roberts, which I was so happy about. No disrespect to them, but I think they were one of the easier teams in the tournament. So we got them first. I watched some film on them. Was able to exploit some of their weaknesses, and we won that first game pretty easy. Second game, we played Phil Dahlhauser and John Sutton, which was also a great matchup because Phil's amazing, but Sutton's not the best. He's actually good. He surprised me on how well he played, but we won that game in 3 because Phil was just insane. I've never hit against any block like that. It's like I'm blind going up there. I'm just pretty much guessing. But that was super fun. So first tournament, we get in and then win 2 games. So that's a 9th. And I think we got like 650 points from that, which isn't a whole lot. Like now where I'm at now, I'm understanding kind of how points work and how those tournaments don't really help you. Like even if you win a tour tournament, you're only getting 950 points each, which I just got in Manhattan for getting 9th. So anyway, we'll talk about that in the next video. So the first tournament, get 9th. Second tournament, go to Wisconsin. Jordan and I also go through the qualifier. The game to get in was super close against Nick Amato. We get in and then lose our first 2 matches. So that was like, I don't know, maybe got 500 points from that. Or maybe 6, I don't know. It was like nothing. So, first 2 tournaments, get in, which I'm just blown away that I even got into AVP tournament the first 2 tournaments I played. And then after that, I think we played Seaside, and Seaside we got 9th, I think, and that also got us another 600. So I was getting 600 points each tournament, which is a little more than winning a CBVA. And then Brian Miller asked me to play, so I played in Virginia with him, got straight into the main draw, which was awesome. It felt so good. We lost our first 2 matches, so I barely got any points from that. Lost a lot of money, too. And then Manhattan Beach didn't qualify with Jordan. Anyway, that's just a quick summary of how the summer went. But I think like something I learned was like how to play the tournament. So, okay, you could refine your game and get better at volleyball, which is so important, and that's most of it. But then the other half is like figuring out how to win and figure out how to play these tournaments, because they're matches. So CBVA tournaments, most open tournaments aren't matches. They're just one set, and then you wait an hour, maybe play another set. And you're playing a bunch of games in a day, and there's not like a whole lot of pressure. But in these AVP tournaments, it can get kind of chaotic with a lot of people there and a lot of players, and there's refs, and it's more professional, it's like more structured. So if you grew up playing club volleyball, you're used to the refs and the people watching and the coach and everything, and it's just pretty structured. But beach volleyball has always just been relaxed and loose and like kind of play with your friends. So then getting into these tournaments is like all of a sudden this is serious. So it's like needing to switch your mind from this is just for fun with my friends to, oh, this is an actual tournament, even though I'm on the beach on the sand. So like having that mindset shift at first is very important, but then also getting used to the rhythm of the game. So for example, you don't know when your first game's going to be. It could be at 8, it could be at 9, it could be at 10. I think it might even be able to be at 11, your first match. It's best out of 3. And then if you win that, then you're off for like 2 hours, right? So I made a mistake. Jordan and I made a mistake the first tournament of, after playing our first game, just kind of hanging out around there and like staying in the scene, which it's a lot. Like I think Denver didn't really have a player tent, so we were just kind of in the midst of everybody. Like, yeah, people are coming up to you and talking to you, and it gets kind of exhausting. So something I would have done at the beginning was just get out of there right away. My coach told me to do this. I didn't believe him. Dumb me, but he has the experience, and he was telling me, you just got to get out of there. Like, go take a nap or whatever it is, but reset, let your mind rest. So first year, I didn't know how to do any of that. Also, figuring out, okay, what am I going to eat? Because, okay, you're really hungry, you want to eat food, you eat food, and then it makes you tired, and then you play bad. That's at least what happens to me. So just trying to figure that out too, and then getting in a rhythm of like, when am I going to land? Where am I sleeping? Like, all this stuff that like goes into it affects the rhythm of the game and just your mindset too. And volleyball, I think more than most sports, is such a rhythm. Like, everything's kind of a dance, and then even external factors have a big part in that. So the first year, I was just focused on getting in. And then once I got in, it's like, oh crap, there's so much else that I need to start thinking about. But it's super fun. So if you have any questions, I'm sure I didn't even cover so much of it. Oh yeah, okay, one more thing. It does suck when you spend $500 on a plane ticket, you go and you lose your first 2 matches. That sucks. But that's part of it. Like, you have to be willing to lose. You have to be willing to lose. You can't be afraid to lose. You have to go in wanting to win. I'm not playing not to lose. So I'm going to give you a really quick story of my nephew. One of my nephews, him and his brother were playing this game. Actually, I was playing the game. I was doing like a little Jeopardy thing. So I was asking them questions, and if they answered it right, I would give them like a fry. And they're having a great time doing it, but then the younger one wouldn't be answering the questions fast enough, so then he didn't get like almost any fries, and he was all sad and he was crying. And I was asking him, like, why are you sad? And he's like, because I didn't get any fries, because it wasn't fair. He got it all. And I was like, do you understand? You're crying about a fry. Like, I just spent almost $1,000 to go to this tournament. I just lost my first 2 matches, and I had to go home. 3-hour flight, 5 hours, I don't know how long the flight was. go home and you have all the time to think about it. You're by yourself too. It's like mentally it's a lot. So if you're thinking about like doing this, you have to be all in. It has to be worth it. You have to commit. I think the biggest part about finding a partner is there's a lot of really athletic people that are good at volleyball and could be amazing at volleyball, but it's not worth it to them. They're not willing to spend the money. They're not willing to lose and work really hard for years and not really see any reward. And I think it's like that with anything. If you're starting a business, you have to believe in it. You have to want it. You have to know God's called you to do it. So that's just a little bit of my first year becoming a pro beach volleyball player.